No, Malice, can you elaborate on that? And actually, you know what? Let me bring you guys into the Discord. Malice, do you mind if I bring you into the Discord? Actually, if you want to, you can jump in and you can explain yourself. Mina, did you want to jump in as well?
I was just asking if Haley could have been the public defender on the case between Sparks and her. And maybe she got off and she didn't like it. I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting thought. But what exactly does a public defender do?
They defend people who can't afford, or people who can't be there.
The free attorney?
Yeah, basically.
She could have. I wonder if there's information on that Lawton accident. Haley could have also given Ricky the info on the victim.
That could be both. Yeah.
Ooh. All right, let's go back to this. Website. Dozens of Lawton's friends. Okay, investigators said that Greg and Nicole were crossing here. I'm gonna see if they have any information on like the attorneys or anything. Witnesses at Carter. Until investigators McMaster. Who is McMaster? Jocelyn Carter.
I think the master might be third one up there.
Surgery. Scott McMaster. Detective Scott McMaster.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's Port St. James? I'm really curious about that.
I don't know its place though. I've heard of it.
Sounds like tropical. Port St. James, Wikipedia. British Columbia.
That's Fort St. James. You want Port.
Oh, Port. Port Saint. Not Saint. St. James. That is... Oh, there is no Port St. James. Could Haley Scott be a red herring to confuse us with King? I don't know. It could be. I mean, it said... King specializes in this. She's never been married. Well, it doesn't say if she's been married or not. Alright, so... Maybe we need to go through the rest of the newspaper again to see if there's any other information about Haley King or Haley Scott.
There could be in the newspaper.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking through right now. Recorded the bell desk. Okay, so check this out too. It seems that the front desk got a call at 11:50. No. I just read this. Last night, Bell Captain Charles Hopkins discovered the body at 11:50. Okay, yeah. She'd been strangled. Where did I read that? I thought I read that he had a phone call about
Switch the screen back to.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I swore that they said that they got a call saying that she needed assistance. But where? News brief. Mr. Downtown. It's Cullen. Shark attack. Sunken boat. Famous photographer recovering. Lancaster. No. No, nothing there. Cullen, Morris, Abrams, Rachel Dawes,
Been in the news that's down below where they talk about
possibly.
her,
I'm just.
who was Julia?
Okay, let's see.
You could have been there. Davis and Kent, based in Dun.
She became a junior partner at the public relations Davis and Kent. She lived downtown in the historic Earnhardt building and was frequently seen downtown at the restaurant, bars, and other establishments. Smart as a whippet, said Jack Davis. Let's see. Annabelle Lee, blah blah blah. New website, otsfirm.com. Where did you get this? OTS Firm. Another acquaintance, Rhonda Raymond, owner of Ogilvy, Thorne, and Sharp. They did get a new one. Alright, let's check out this website, shall we? The law firm's website. Oldest law firm. Our philosophy. We represent companies, governments, and financial situations, high worth individuals, and family. We rarely accept new clients. Let's see.
I remember them saying that.
Business law, civil litigation, trust wills, and government. We're going to open this up in a new one. As a pillar of Forest City for generations. I'm going to quickly check my mail to see if I got inquiries. Hey, guess what? I got a reply back from the hotel from earlier. Thank you for contacting the Grantham Hotel in downtown Forest City. We're unable to respond to email communications due to an unfortunate death that occurred during our 150th anniversary celebration. Actually, let me grab a screenshot of this. And I'll post this in the chat.
Sweet.
Mina, can you throw this in the doc for me, please?
I wonder what you'll get from this one.
Respond to email communication due to an unfortunate death that occurred during our anniversary. I'm not putting this up on the screen because it's my personal email. Our staff will return to work in about 7 days. We'll be accepting new reservations and communicating with the public. We appreciate your patience during this time. Sincerely, Ricky Sparks, General Manager. Yeah, let's email this place too. Compose an email here. That's interesting. That email address automatically pops up to Christopher Forrest. That's very interesting. Yeah, OTS Firm pops up for Christopher Forrest. Hi, I need a lawyer.
Well, no, because we don't accept new clients.
That is true too. Alright, let's see. We'll see what happens. And you know what? Let's give this phone number a call too.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I just got an email back from them right away. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of this as well. Put this in the chat for you guys. And actually, I can pop this part up for you guys to see. There you go. Maybe you guys can see that. Maybe, kind of, not really. Okay, so this basically says... Your email has been received. If you're a client of the firm, please use the personalized email address you've been assigned for instant communication with the primary partner and or associate handling your account. You may also use your dedicated phone number to reach the attorneys or staff working on your legal matters. Your dedicated email address and telephone number can be found in the confidential client information portfolio given to you by the firm. If you're not a client of the firm, your email will be reviewed by a firm staff within the next 7 days to determine if a response is warranted. We rarely accept new clients. We do not respond to inquiries from people who are not clients of the firm. Blah, blah, blah. Wrecked. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not worthy. Got that right. So let's see.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Practice areas. This has probably got to be part of the whole meta thing. Oh, profiles. Wait a minute. Ooh, hello. Doesn't he look like Bradley Cooper a little bit? Oh, but David Mattson. I want to see if they have one of our chicks that we're looking for here. Trevor Davenport, Whitney Larson, Barry Chamberlain. No. I thought one of the girls was supposed to be, like, working here. Maybe not. Alright, you know what? Let's call. Just to see. Because why not? 1941 893 2427. Let me pause the music and put on speakerphone.
You have reached the law firm of Ogilvy, Thorne, and Sharp. If you are a client of the firm, please hang up and dial your exclusive direct access telephone number provided to you by the firm. If you are not a client of the firm, we rarely accept new clients, and when we do so only by referral. We do not accept telephone calls from the general public. Have a pleasant day.
No, you have a pleasant day. Whew, okay. Yeah, you're right, Mina. We are totally not worthy. Alright, so... yeah, so that's pretty much done with that. I got the hotel. I'm just trying to see, is there anything else? Carter. What else could there be that we are missing? You have Ricky as being it. Why do you have Ricky as being it? Why are they talking about dogs? What is your thought process? She's the most likely
suspect. I suspected her from the beginning. Blech, dog.
Dante's books. I just want to pull up Dante's books really quick.
She also has the most motive.
She does. forestcity.info/Dante. HTML. Let me see. Dante's Bookshop. Featured books. Hatchet of the Clone. Poe's Works. King Tut's Tomb. Just trying to see what we got going on. Rhonda Raymond Proprietor. Meh. Alright, I'm curious. Mina, how do you have that as Ricky? Because if we take it as face value, Scott and King are different Haleys. Also, the only person that's left that could gain access to Thursday night is Ricky. That is true, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were they both spelled the same? Ricky? Like, this one's R-I-C-K-I. And in the interview, it talked about... oh no, Haley Scott, H-A-L-E-Y. H-A-L-E-Y. And this is H-A-L-E-Y. Room 809. But it talks about how she's an attorney. And so was the person with him. And David Meyer from law firm. So that's kind of interesting. So you think it's Ricky? Malice, you think it's Ricky too?
I do.
Okay. Now, if everyone else is in agreement, I mean, we can just jump right into the Facebook group we can see.
I think it's because she's getting revenge for her brother.
Let's see. The mystery and revenge. Okay, let's see. Mystery experience. Discussion.
And she also might be able to put on like the cameras on a loop so no one sees her. She has access to that kind of stuff.
She does, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see. Hotel solution. Ah, there's JR. Mystery and revenge. Murder and revenge. Revenge and revenge. I like it. Alright, let's see. What's... Fenner? Hold on a second. I'm pulling up a... Okay, that's not correct.
I have the hardest time finding the answers.
Well, I have to go to the Facebook group in order to read it. Alright, here we go, guys. Oops. And here is... Oh, let me turn this back on. Alright, Mouse, I'm gonna move you back out. Thank you.
Okay.
So, this one says... To solve the hotel mystery, we first should read the assignment letter from the FBI Deputy Assistant Andrew Morgan. From the letter, we learn that the victim, Julia Cannon, was murdered in her hotel room on the 8th floor in Forest City. We also learned that Cannon was strangled to death with a red tie. In fact, it was this red tie. Totally. I mean, it covers up all the blood. You can just, you know, wipe the blood off. Wipe yourself off. You did. I like that one. The assignment letter advises use your skills to investigate the evidence. To solve the hotel mystery, we first should read the assignment letter from the FBI Deputy Assistant Andrew Morgan. From the letter, we learn that the victim, Julia Cannon, was murdered in her hotel room on the 8th floor in Forest City. We also learned that Cannon was strangled to death with a red tie. In fact, it was this red tie. Totally. I mean, it covers up all the blood. You can just, you know, wipe the blood off. Wipe yourself off. You did. I love it. Perfect job. Alright, so let's continue on. The assignment letter advises use your skills to investigate the evidence and rule out the suspects who could not have committed the crime. But still, where does the dog come in? They specifically talk about a dog. Based on the available evidence, use your powers of deduction, blah, 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 blah. The assignment letter further advises begin your investigation by examining and sorting the items and documents provided by the letter. Can someone throw that boom in my Discord, please? Excuse me. Let's see. Forest City newspaper background information about the Grantham Hotel murder, Julia Cannon. The review began... Okay, so our investigation therefore takes the following course once we have sorted through the items in the box. Read the Forest City Tribune background information and review the possible suspects. 2. Study the evidence to try and rule out as many suspects as possible. And 3... Actually, 3. The remaining suspects try and choose the identity killer based on the motive, alibi, and ability and opportunity. From the Forest Tribune, we learned that some important facts. Some of the most salient are the murder of Julia Cannon occurred during a 3-day weekend event commemorating the 150th anniversary of the opening of the Grantham Hotel. Number 2, Cannon's body was discovered by the bell captain of the hotel, Charles Hopkins, at 11:50 after receiving a phone call from the front desk by a person who identified herself as Julia Cannon and required assistance. I told you guys about that. 3. There were similar murders that occurred in Forest City, June of 1873, which the victims were also strangled to death with a red tie. Cannon moved to Forest City only 3 years ago. And 5. Only those persons with key cards programmed for access to the 8th floor in the hotel are considered to be suspects. Alright, so we know that all of these people, boom, right there, are all suspects. We can rule out several suspects based on the evidence available. First, we establish a timeline when the murder occurred. We know from the Forest City Tribune that Kennan's body was discovered by Charles Hopkins at 11:50 after receiving a phone call and requested assistance. Hopkins remarked that when he found Kennan, her body was still warm as it did not appear she's been dead for long. Therefore, we can assume that Kennan was killed shortly after Hopkins arrived at her room at 11:50. Neither Abby nor Ava were likely to be the killer based on an email saying that they were in the basement. They left, and the night, they're doing the basement. Whatever they were doing, whatever. We know from the schedule of events found on the nightstand of the murder scene that the toast occurred at 10:30 p.m. and they didn't finish exploring the basement until after 2 a.m. So they're not likely. Not a big deal. Casey's unlikely to be the killer based on the news in the Forest City Tribune about physical altercations that happened between her and the FBI agent. So basically, she punched him. Or she got punched. So she's not the killer. Zoe Barr is unlikely to be the killer because of the FBI interview report with Cecil. She was in his room till about 1:30. Totally. And then went straight to her room. Next, we examined the evidence related to the murder weapon. First, the trace evidence report said the red tie revealed several human hairs and skin cells on the tie came from Anthony Petrov. In the interview report with Anthony, he admits he owns a red tie and brought a red tie with him. However, Petrov states that many people had been in his hotel room and therefore had had the opportunity to steal the tie to use as a murder weapon. We're unable to point at this point to draw any conclusions whether he is the killer, but we do know that several other suspects also had access to the tie. Next, a DNA report for the sample gives us the bombshell revelation. The biological sample from the killer taken from the forehead of victim Kennan was degraded. It was Professor Malice in the basement, the Blue Dragon dildo. That's a sex thing. But the test determined that the sample contained DNA with only XX chromosomes. Females typically have 2 of the same type sex chromosomes, and males typically have 2 distinct sex chromosomes. Since the DNA report indicates that the killer's DNA contained only XX chromosomes, we can conclude that the killer was almost certainly female. This allows us to rule out Thomas Steele, Anthony Petrov, Greg Jackson, and Charles. Now that we've ruled out as many suspects as possible, we must identify the killer from the suspects that remain: Roxanne, Haley, Amy, and Ricky. We find little information in the evidence that would suggest a motive for Amy, Roxanne, or Haley. Amy Franklin. We know that Amy is the victim, shared mutual friend Rhonda Raymond, the owner of Dante's books, but no other connection to the Professor Mayo. Yes, we did. Yeah, because all the guys are gone, so. But no other connections. Roxanne Thien. We know that Roxanne Thien was seated at a table with Kennan at the chef's dinner, but no other connections were apparent. Didn't we cross off Roxanne? Oh, well, we just kind of assumed it wasn't. That's cool looking, guys. I mean, seriously, look at that. That is pretty cool. Yeah, ladies can be professors too. I don't want to keep it up for too long. Oh, Nam, you don't know about Bad Dragon? Check that site out. Okay. Okay, so Roxanne, there's no other cool mother-in-law's Christmas gift. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my mother-in-law. Yeah, that'd be great. Haley King. We know that Haley King was unlikely the victim, likely knew the victim well in the text exchange. On Kennan's phone with HK. We must also surmise that Haley King was in Petrov's room prior to the murder and had opportunity to steal the tie in the interview report. Petrov incorrectly identifies her as Haley Scott. but states she was from the law firm, so we can conclude that it was likely Haley King, who is known as a lawyer there. Otherwise, no other evidence suggests a motive. So we were like, yeah, there was something there. That's kind of interesting. Ricky Sparks. Is there evidence to provide a motive for Ricky Sparks to commit murder? An important clue provided on the handwritten card which states, I have information that might help your investigation. Things are not what they seem. Go to lawtonaccident.com. Visiting this website reveals a newspaper article from August 3rd, 2012, which describes the death of newlyweds Greg and Nicole Lawton in Port St. James, who were killed after being struck by a car driven by Jocelyn Carter. Now, who are these people and how do they relate to the events of the hotel? Our first clue is the website address on the back of the dinner menu for the Grantham Hotel. Going to the hotel's website, you get the message, which is this message right here. Bam. That one right there. Most importantly, however, is the message, which indicates that there's a message waiting. Viewing the page, the message is still logged in from the last user. Reading the new message reveals that the murder victim, Julia Kennan, who grew up in Port St. James, used to be known by a different name, Jocelyn Carter. Our second clue is the invitation for July 2nd, a wedding which reveals the maiden name of our accident victim, Nicole Lawton, which Mina smartly pointed out. What? What is this? I'm sorry. I got distracted. I'm in someone's Discord and I don't know whose Discord it is. It just somehow opened up. Okay, so anyways, the invitation. Okay, so from these two clues, we learned that the murder victim, Julia Kennan, was formerly known as Jocelyn Carter when she lived in Port St. James. Kennan/Carter killed two young newlyweds when she struck them with her car. The maiden name of one of the victims of the car accident, Nicole Lawton, was in fact Nicole Sparks. This suggests that she was the sister or another close relative of Grantham Hotel manager Ricky Sparks. Did Sparks have the opportunity to commit the crime? We learned that Ricky Sparks visited Anthony's hotel room before the murder and had the opportunity to steal the red tie that was used as the murder weapon. Sparks was likely aware of the history of the Strangler and may have used elements from the historical serial killings in order to confound the inevitable law enforcement investigation. Finally, Sparks could have temporarily left the gala in the ballroom, gone down the stairwell to the 8th floor to commit the crime. Now remember, the video cameras were only in the elevators, not in the stairwells. She could have also returned to the gala before Kennan's body was discovered by Charles Hopkins. We might also surmise that Sparks herself made the call to the bell captain after she killed Kennan before returning to the gala in an attempt to give herself an alibi. Ooh, it gets even better. Ooh. Our circumstantial evidence. The About Us page on the Grantham Hotel includes a photo gallery that scrolls through several photos automatically. If you watch long enough, you'll see a photograph of the masked person that appears identical to the person on Julia Kennan's phone, which we did see. We did see that. Although it's possible the killer was wearing a wig, the photo appears to show the killer's long hair that is medium or dark of color, but certainly not purple. Read the news article from the Forest City Tribune on the following page for the solution and conclusion of the story. Oh, we were right! We were so right. By Martha Perez. With the assistance of a special investigator brought in to aid the investigation, mostly Mina P. 13 and Malice, and the gorgeous Kitty Has Claws, the FBI apprehended the killer who murdered Forest City resident Julia Kennan in her hotel room at the Grantham Hotel during the hotel's 150th anniversary celebration event. Ricky Sparks, the Grantham Hotel's general manager, was arrested yesterday by FBI agent Liam Grant for the murder. She attempted to flee, escaping the rooftop bar of the Grantham Hotel, where she was cornered by the FBI agents and Forest City police officers. According to the witness of events, Sparks stepped up to the parapet on the wall of the edge of the roof, appearing ready to jump. A quick-acting Agent Grant wrestled her back from the precipice. In a highly emotional state, Sparks admitted to the crime, calling it a revenge killing for the death of her sister at the hands of Kenan so many years ago when Kenan... Ooh. Ooh, God, dry throat. That's a lot of talk. I'm not used to this. A revenge killing. Struck and kill with her car. Ricky Sparks seized the opportunity to take a revenge when Kenan checked into the room at the Grantham Hotel for the 150th anniversary of Revenge, using the legend of the Strangler to try and confound any law enforcement investigation. Sparks committed the killing using a red tie stolen from Anthony as the murder weapon and wore a white mask to plant a false narrative and confuse any law enforcement investigation. Sparks was taken to the Savage Bay Penitentiary to await trial for her crimes. Good job, guys. Good job. At roughly midnight, on the night after Ricky Sparks was arrested, a guest at the Grantham Hotel reported seeing the fleeing image of a woman wearing a white mask on the 8th floor. This report remains unconfirmed. So, good job, Mina. Good job, Malice. And guys, we will be doing the next box, which is, as you guys may have seen, let me pull that up. I have to get all the pictures and stuff. Freak Show, right here. This is going to be interesting. This is all about the clowns and the mysterious killings that happen with that. So GG, and I know this one was actually very kind of easy. There were no puzzles. There was no like real depth to it, I thought. And you know, this kind of happens every couple of months. You have a really in-depth one that requires a lot of research, a lot of thinking, a lot of searching, and then you have one that's really kind of shallow. So I'm a little disappointed in this. It's still a good story, but I'm a little disappointed in it. But I'm sure the next couple are going to be excellent. So I'm very, very excited about that. Yeah, the story was good, but very easy. And if I think it's easy, you know it's going to be easy.